Oh, hi, Paul.
Hi.
Hello. This worked perfect. Because
That
last
was
time I was
easy.
trying, and I'm sorry I was late. I was actually going live from my own account. And then I was like, where's Paul? And then I was like, wait, I'm supposed to do this from MetalAid account.
Well, I didn't
So
know what I
here I
was
am.
doing. So
Now you know. Now you've experienced this, so now you know.
I'm just gonna.
Hi, everyone. There's a lot of George Brown. A
Oh,
lot of
good.
George Brown people, yeah.
Hi, George Brown
Yeah.
people.
Just gonna wait till 5:30 and then go ahead. How are you?
I'm all right. I just
Good.
I just came in from a game of spike ball with my
Yes.
son. Spike ball
Oh,
is
okay.
amazing.
Oh. Is it?
I'm
What
new
is
to
Spike?
spike ball.
What is it?
It's the one. It's the one you see in the park with sort of like a net that's on the ground.
Oh, I always wondered what that is. And then
And
you have to, oh, okay, look at you.
yeah, it's good for small spaces with kids. Like we have a small backyard, sort of.
Yeah,
It's and it's good exercise, so it's
yeah.
fun. We
No,
just
it's
got
good.
it.
It's always good. Oh, Noelle's here. Everybody's here. That's
Oh,
great.
hi Noel.
Perfect. And I'm trying my new camera lens, which is giving me more area of coverage because I was like, I need to show people that I have my bench at home now. So I've gotten this lens. I'll show you. I'll show you later. It's really good for photography too, if you want it.
Great.
I'll
Well,
teach you all about it.
I have a nice stand that I can walk
Oh,
around in.
I need one of those too because mine wobbles a lot when I put it on. So I need like a good one so I could, especially for like right now when you're in the studio and you want to show around. It's perfect. Okay, good. And it's perfect. 5:30. We're waiting for 5:30. I'm just waiting, and I can't really see how. Okay, perfect. And then once, if anybody right now has any questions or anything for Paul, please post it, and then we'll bring it up later. Because then at some point when Paul is going to go over the studio and his work, I'm probably going to shut down the comments because he's covering his window. I want you guys to be able to see. Oh, Tom's here. Hi, Tom.
Really?
Yes.
Hi Tom. Hi Sebastian.
Okay, perfect. It's 5:30. Let's get started. I think you'll
Sure.
probably more people are probably going to join in. Um, so I'm here with Mr. Paul McClure today. Thank you. Thanks a lot for doing this. I really appreciate everybody who's taking part in this. It's great. Most of you know Paul, but I'm just going to do a very brief introduction of Paul, and then I'll let Paul handle the rest of it. So Paul he was my amazing professor at George Brown College. That's how I know Paul. And right now, well, you're on a sabbatical right now, right?
I am on the tail end of it.
On
Yes.
the tail end of it, yeah. But um, he's the basically the professor and the programs coordinator, right? Programs coordinator at George Brown. And amongst that, he has an extensive amount of knowledge and has received numerous awards. I know that the most important one, I would say the 2015 Governor General's Award in Visual and Media Arts, right? That was it?
Yeah.
It
It's the
was
Sadie.
2015, right?
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
Saidye Bronfman
Yeah,
Awards.
the Saidye
Bronfman
Bronfman
Award.
Award. Yeah, and there's a great video that I was actually watching it 2 days ago. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you check out the video. That was it prepared for that specific reason? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They
very
do
very
one.
well done. It's very nice. And then amongst other things that I can mention about Paul is that this is when he became my hero. He co-hosted the 2013 Snack Conference with well, you were doing it through George Brown, but also in partnership with um, Harbor Fund Center and Melanie. But you and
That's what
Melanie
we
did a
did.
lot for that. That was my first introduction to Snag, which was in Toronto. And to this date, every time I go to Snag, people are still talking about that Snag and the fact that it was an amazing conference. People loved it. And then I'll let you talk about your education and stuff if you want to. but I definitely also wanted to mention that Paul is very, very well known and very involved in the international community for jewelry. He has numerous pieces in different museums, right? You have a few in Beaux-Arts in Montreal, right? Am I
Yep,
correct?
yep. A few in Montreal and in a couple of other places.
Yeah, can you tell me which other places? Because I can't. I was trying to think today.
Um, so in the Design Museum in Barcelona,
Right,
in the
yes.
museum in Edinburgh, the Scottish Museum, Museums of Scotland, and yeah, a
Yeah.
couple of.
Yeah, because I've seen the other two that you said I haven't been to. That's why I'm a visual person, so that's why I couldn't remember. But the ones that in Montreal, I've seen them all, and I've gotten very excited every time I see them. I'm like, that's my professor. That's who taught me. Um, and then, yeah, I guess I'll just, if you don't mind, maybe just telling for the people who don't know, maybe a little bit about your background, education,
Sure.
um, your work. Yeah, anything you want to talk about.
Okay. Okay, well, first of all, thanks everyone for joining. This is my first Instagram Live. And it's kind of bizarre, right? Like being sort of sequestered for 3 months now with the pandemic. A lot of my time has been in my studio and a lot of it alone, some productive, some less productive. It's certainly been a big challenge. Good weeks and bad weeks. But
Yeah,
anyway, it's
yeah.
interesting to sort of open up this tiny little space to the world. So yeah, a little background. If you don't know, I'm actually a Torontonian. I'm born in Toronto, and I went to NASCAD in Nova Scotia for my undergrad. And then I went to Barcelona to study with Ramon Puig Cuyas for 2.5 years and worked in his studio for about a year of that time. And that was in the late 80s. And then came back to Canada and set up in Montreal for the first half of the 90s. Working at a gallery, Jocelyn Gobet's gallery, which was
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
a predecessor to Noël Guillaume's gallery, which was great. That gave me a big perspective on the international contemporary jewelry scene.
Yes.
And then I went back to school to do a master's, and I went to Dublin, to Ireland, to the National Museum of Art and Design. And that was graduated from there in 2000
Okay.
or 99. Anyway, and then I actually came back to, I taught at NASCAD for a little bit, and then I started teaching in 2001, no, 2000 in George Brown. So it's been
Oh,
20
wow.
years.
That's what I was going to ask you, that how many years of overall teaching experience you have? Because I don't know this. Like,
Well, I started in 1842.
okay.
No. So
Well, I was
it's
also
been
going to
about
say
20.
that Paul is like 32 years old, so he started all of this when he was 3.
So yeah,
Jeez.
about 25 years of teaching, really.
Wow.
Um,
Good for
yeah,
you.
a long time. So, and interestingly, so this year, it's been such an interesting year because I have been on sabbatical
Yes.
away from George Brown since about August or July of last year. And I spent the first half of it in Birmingham in the UK
Yes.
at the School of Jewelry,
Yes.
which was fantastic. I was there sort of specifically to do some research and work on direct metal laser melting, so
Yes.
3D printing with precious metals. But it also gave me a chance to be a bit sort of selfish and get away. And I got to go, I was back in Barcelona for a few weeks for Hoya,
My favorite city.
and reconnected with a lot of people there and all over, sort of all over the UK and Europe. Anyway, that was fantastic experience. I've got my
Oh, nice.
School of Jewelry Birmingham apron on.
It was
And
very Hogwarts when I was, because I know that you were posting pictures and a lot of videos from the school, and it looks like they had a very, very good facility.
yeah, so it's an interesting place. It's the largest jewelry school certainly in Europe, and perhaps in the world.
Oh, wow.
It's about twice the size of George Brown. So they have about 450 students.
Oh, wow.
It's part of the Birmingham City University. So there's programs, undergraduate programs, and all the way through master's and PhD level.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, and they've also, what they're really well known for is they have a really incredible digital technology lab, which I've been sort of interested in for the last few years.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you just specifically chose that school for because they had this, right?
I did. Well, for
Okay.
two reasons, really. One, because of the technology and the expertise there.
Mhm.
And two, because the size of the school, there aren't very many jewelry schools like the one here in Toronto, like
Yes.
George Brown. So big, right? Like we have 250 students nearly. And we started a partnership with Birmingham to try to have students be able to complete a degree, because George Brown only offers diplomas.
Right.
And the other interesting thing about Birmingham, yes, it sort of has a contemporary art jewelry, but also a lot of good technical skill delivery.
Oh, okay.
In terms of goldsmithing.
The traditional goldsmithing techniques.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I wanted to, and to benefit George Brown as well, to kind of like set up a partnership and kind of see how they were operating, see if there's any tips we can incorporate here back in Toronto. Yeah. And so it was kind of a half for my own work and half for the college. So that was the fall, and then
Can I ask you something about Birmingham?
Yeah.
Is it like the center of goldsmithing for England, or
Yes.
is it? Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
the history, it's an amazing history, because it's they have what's called the Jewelry Quarter,
Okay.
whole neighborhood that's you know, in the Victorian, up until probably about the 1950s or so, there was a lot of jewelry production.
Okay.
The majority of the UK jewelry production was there. That, of course, has dwindled to a certain extent, but it's still nearly, I think it's about 40% or 50% of all jewelry production in the UK comes out of Birmingham.
So would it be safe to say, if like, what's the percentage of the people that are going to school there that are actually from Birmingham? Or is it like from all over the place?
Well, that's an interesting, actually, because it's there's a lot of international students.
Okay.
A lot of international students from China.
Okay.
And, but they have a program that is more kind of like our jewelry methods program. So it's a 2-year technical goldsmithing, and that's more local, excuse me, more local students.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a really, really big international
Good.
student body.
Because I was just wondering if like is it like well known that like, is it a big community in Birmingham that, you know, keep on going to the school and make it happen, or is this kind of, because I imagine.
Yeah, it is. And there's, you know, and it's an interesting thing you kind of forget when you come from a country like Canada, where our distances are so big. But like, you know, in Birmingham, at the school, there's a lot of teachers who might be in London, or they might be in Manchester or Liverpool or Sheffield or wherever, and would come in for the day or spend half the week at the college teaching. So, you know, in a country as small as
that's the nice thing about Europe.
Yeah, people are moving around. So it was great. It was really great. It was a great community of people there. I was really, really welcomed. And so I can show you a little bit about what I did.
Oh, that would be amazing, actually. Hold on, I'm just gonna shut the comments off for a few seconds, everybody, and then we'll come back, because I feel like Paul's window is being covered by the comments. There we go. Okay. Awesome.
So I guess, as I was saying, particularly, let's see if I can swing this. Now, I've got my mirror, so I can do this. Can I? Okay.
Oh,
no,
perfect.
I've switched it. Sorry. There we go.
And
All
Paul,
right.
how many years have you had the studio at home? Have you always had it at home? Since you guys...
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I used to
You've
be in
always
the
had.
basement, like many a jeweler. I had a
Okay.
small room in the
Okay.
basement.
Yes.
And then I've gradually been able to come up to the first floor.
Okay.
And now I have a
Amazing.
window,
Oh.
which is great. So yeah,
Oh, I
I'm on
didn't
the
know you have
first
a window.
floor.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm on the first floor of a house, an old Victorian house.
Amazing.
And yeah, so it's great. It's a really small space. Like I probably got about, excuse me, maybe 400 square feet.
That's good enough, I
But
think.
nice high ceilings. So
Yeah. No,
anyway,
it
yeah.
looks great.
So so these are a few of the I'm gonna get rid of this. These are some of the pieces. So these
Oh.
have been printed in sterling silver, and
Oh wow. The quality of those these are all printed in sterling silver from start to finish. Like no.
yeah.
Oh
So it's a
wow.
process called direct metal laser melting, and which is there's a powder which is used to. So this is the powder.
Okay.
I don't know if you can sort of see it in there.
I'm guessing it's a different pattern than just silver.
It's
Like,
pure. It's really actually pure silver.
oh wow, okay.
But
Okay.
and so the powder goes across the whoops these sort of stainless steel pucks go into
Okay.
the machine,
Okay.
and the laser passes over the powder passes over the puck, and the laser goes across and melts each layer. So basically the modeled form, whatever it may be, so like something like this is sliced up into layers that are about 20 microns thick, and it gradually builds up. And so there's some supports which you can see, like
Yes.
this one, the supports, which actually I absolutely love these supports. And normally what you would do, you remove your piece from these stainless steel pucks,
Yes.
and then kind of get rid of this. But actually, I really love these leftovers.
That's amazing. I actually thought those were pieces until you said that they were.
No, the pieces are the ones that
Yes, I figured it
I've
after.
cut off. But
Wow.
so interestingly, what I would like to do, so these are stainless steel, not
Yes.
easy to cut.
Yes.
I really want to find a way, either by laser cutting or by milling them off, and I'd like to turn all of these leftovers also into jewelry pieces.
Oh, you should. You absolutely
They're
should.
just like amazing.
They're so great. I mean, I can't really. It's kind of hard to see the texture through the lens, but if there's a texture on it, right?
Well, they're kind of like honeycomb.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Wow, that's
because they're
amazing.
supports. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's how these are sort of the pieces that I've been working on, in combination with
They're magnificent.
with some die forming. So like I was going to show. So I actually did some work which I sent off to Noel's gallery.
Yes.
So I'm going to just show you Can I do that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're up on the wall. So these are some of the ones where like this is printed, and then these parts are hand fabricated.
Right. Okay.
You can see that and that. So, and then
those are the ones that you've posted on your Instagram, right? I shared one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know what you can see because I'm doing it
Oh wow.
blind.
Okay.
But,
Okay. No, I can see.
This kind of was the first one where this was printed, and then this is hand raised or die formed.
Okay.
Yeah. So in combination with some of that, I guess, what really happened is, after getting these pieces off the printer, I initially thought they would be not finished, but that I would just kind of put a pin back on them.
Yes. Yes.
And turn them into, and just boom, there it is.
Yes.
But I'm not satisfied with that at all. So I went back kind of and started just, I don't know, just realizing that I needed to do some fabrication to kind of bring some soul back into them. They're a little bit dead, you know, on their own. I don't know
think
why
so.
it is. Well, I do know why it is. It's because they came out of a machine.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you kind of just have to go with your gut.
And
One of the things I did was I went back to, also still with 3D printer, and printed some of these dies, which there's a whole box of them here.
okay.
And went back to a technique that I was using years ago, which was these kind of making these liquid steel dies. Can you see those?
No. Oh, yes, the one that is in there. Okay, yes. Yeah.
So these allow me to do pressings from sheet metal to create hollow forms. And then I've been mixing the hollow forms with the printed material. So
I'm sorry. I just excuse my ignorance, but you just used the term that I've never heard. Liquid steel?
oh yeah. So there's this product which I was using when I did my master's in Dublin.
Yes.
And it's called. It's basically like epoxy resin that has a lot of powdered shavings of steel in it. So this is the product.
Okay. DevCon?
Yeah. Plastic
I'm
steel liquid.
learning.
So what it does is it allows you to create a die
Wow.
for the hydraulic press, so that I'm just going to grab one of these. So you can see this in my hydraulic press here.
Yes.
So it allows me to create a 2-part die.
Okay.
Right?
So then you can, okay, yeah.
And then I can press sterling sheet, and I get these hollow forms.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Easy.
anyhow, so I went back to doing these again, and creating these forms. And so these are kind of some of the forms that you see.
Yes.
And yeah, and a lot of the new work has been kind of about, you know, for many years, a lot of my work has been about sort of showing the inside of the body on the outside.
Yes. That's what that was my next question. Yes.
Yeah, things sort of started out in this way a long time ago, you know, really like in the beginning of my career as an artist was the beginning of the AIDS pandemic, really.
Yes.
The last pandemic that we had. And so a lot of my work was about HIV AIDS, and then it was about cancer and disease. And anyway, it's sort of morphed certainly from there into, but it's always kind of had forms that are derived from different ways of looking at the body. So sometimes it was anatomical, sometimes it's been microscopic, lately it's been kind of more looking at schematic drawings of the body on a molecular level or a cellular level. I have like some of my mood board, you can kind of see.
Oh yeah, it shows the mood
there. I've got mood boards all over the studio.
No, that's great.
But
That's what you're supposed to do.
Anyhow, so form, in terms of the forms, they've often been referencing something about the inside of the body. Mm-hmm. And but so with this new work, the forms kind of come from that, but I've been exploring kind of the idea of I'm just going to put this down.
Yes, sure.
Exploring the idea of because of doing sort of this new digital work over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been really challenging for me because I'm not really, you know, I'm an old guy. I'm not a digital native.
No, you're not.
And so it's taken me a long time to learn some of the software, but I'm really interested in learning it, and it's been a big challenge. And part of it's been because of being a teacher, but
Yes.
part of it has been about yeah, just a new, God, I've been doing this for 30 years, so it's nice to have a new challenge.
New challenge, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, so what I was going to say was I've been kind of like, by doing so much computer work, and I've kind of started to want to make the computer work come to life in the studio beyond just 3D printing. So what am I getting at here? The idea is the way that a computer modeled a model is sliced up in order to print it. That idea of slicing has been in my work for some time.
Yeah.
Anyway, the idea of sort of like a cross section or a cutaway, and whether that's like slicing up to make a reference to anatomy or to the way cells are drawn or illustrated in medical illustration. And anyway, so this idea of slicing became really central, and cutting away, and sort of kind of like trying to make pieces that that kind of like peek at the inside, or show something that you normally wouldn't see. And of course it has layers of meaning that I'm not going to go explain them all, but I like that it's kind of like taken this concept from the digital world and then formalized it through some of the work. So how can I illustrate? So this is one that I'm working on now, which is it's hard to kind of
Yes, it is.
put the camera where you want.
That's why people have a team to do this for them.
Yeah.
But yes.
So like this is just a model at the moment. But am I getting it there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, much better now. Yeah.
So it's sort of, and then this form is one of the printed forms. So this form is
oh, okay.
Is this.
Oh, wow.
So this is something like, I was definitely trying to get the 3D the 3D printer to do stuff that I couldn't do by hand.
That is very, very, very interesting and cool, I have to say.
I just couldn't do that. So this kind of like tucks into there, and
it's brilliant. Paul, is that, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Is that a texture? Like, is there negative space in there, or is that just a, because we can't, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, so what this is, so I was doing these drawings in Birmingham. I was doing kind of daily drawings for a while, and trying to, a lot of them were almost, they were referencing the body. There were cells and different types of cells, and this one is referencing the packed up RNA inside this nucleus of a cell. Anyway, actually, you know what I need to do? I just realized, maybe if I show it on the screen.
Oh yeah, sure.
It might be a little easier.
Yes.
So give me one sec.
Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah. So I anyway, tried to make some of these forms that could be that could only be done by the laser sintering method, laser melting. All right. So here we go. Can I just squip this?
Yeah, or you can flip your camera so you can see what you're showing us.
See, I told you, old man.
No, you're not old. This is just because you don't know how to literally work with Instagram Live doesn't mean. Oh my God, I see Jade just made a comment about like it. She posted a brain emoji, and that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
it looks like
Yeah, it's a bit like a brain. It's a bit like cytoplasm. So this is kind of what I was saying, is that now the work is not meant to be as specific as before when I maybe, you know, like I might have done an HIV virus, or I might have done a very specific. Anyway, so this is that. This is
And
that.
this is on Rhino, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
pretty much like you're really good with Rhino. What are you talking about? Like this is
Yeah, you
amazing.
don't know how. Thank God there was a pandemic.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See, I should have also done that.
I'm very not. That's a terrible thing to say, but
No, but it's like you're stuck at home. It's not. I know what you mean. It's not terrible, but it's like you have time to do all these things that you've always wanted to do and learn. And it was I should have done that
sabbatical.
too.
I was supposed to go to
Oh, you're back.
Copenhagen. Oh, sorry. The second half of the sabbatical. I was supposed to go to Copenhagen, and that got canceled, and I ended up coming back to Toronto and being here. So I spent, you know, at the beginning of it was really challenging, and I didn't find it very easy to make metal, like to I don't know, to work in the studio. So I did about a month of the pandemic just on Rhino. And actually I was going to show you. So those these ones were as I said, you know, these were laser sintered, but then I was also playing around. One of the problems with like these is they're really heavy, right? Because it's a lot of silver. So,
Right.
and they're really small, and I'm really gotten away from small things. I like big jewelry.
Yeah.
So, or I'm trying to do that, I should say. Where am I here? Yeah, so this one. So these,
Oh.
this form, you can see sort of like what I was doing was like making these forms and then slicing them, you know, on through the software.
Yeah.
And so I would slice it in different ways. So this one's kind of like almost like a Russian doll, where there's one inside the other, inside the other, inside the other.
Yes.
And slicing them in different ways, you know. I love this slice.
Yeah, because the slicing, yes. Go on, sorry.
Yeah. So I was just showing. So then one of the things, in order to get the bigger work, the benefit of let's go big here. The benefit of nylon for 3D printing is you can go really big because it's really light. So I was doing these kinds of where am I here? I need to find one of these. So I was putting these shells over top and then creating these, where is it? Nylon. Yeah. So a base, let me turn those off. So this becomes a brooch.
Okay.
So
wow,
anyway, so what it allowed me to do was to sort of go into, I'm going to show you these because actually the exciting thing is I got some of these back just yesterday.
Oh, okay.
From the printer. So so these are like, well, I'll just show you. Hang on.
Yes, that's what I was gonna be like. If you have it, please show it because I really am. Oh,
So
wow! Oh my God, that's so cool.
So you can sort of see. Let's see.
That's very nice. Oh yes.
Through them.
Oh wow.
And they're, you know, they're nice, big.
And they're light.
So like, whoops. So in
they're light, so you can,
in terms of scale.
Perfect. That's a good size brooch.
And so here's a couple of other ones.
Oh, the blue one. Oh my God. These are
Yeah.
amazing.
And they're super light.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming, that they'll be very light, so they're very easy to wear. You don't have to necessarily wear them on a jacket or anything. You can wear them on a t-shirt and it would look great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as opposed to, you know, like sort of these pieces where only one of the elements is included, one of the 3D printed elements, but it's so heavy that it has to be a neck piece.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and sort of really trying to kind of mimic the colors that you get in Rhino, you know, so like on the screen you get this super great, vibrant
Oh,
color.
that's what I was gonna ask. If those are rhino colors, or you're specifically choosing them because
Those are
of
Rhino colors.
the color.
Sorry, are we back?
We keep
Yeah.
losing you. Yeah, you're back. So they're rhino colors.
Okay. Well, they're Rhino colors. They're also, you know, like the neon fluorescent colors, right?
Yes.
Scientific is scientific illustration. Like these guys are, they're always aestheticized, right? You get these like electron scanning microscope draw images, which of course are only black and white.
Yeah.
And so trying to kind of mimic what the science world is doing with bringing in these crazy bright neon colors. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy that these are working out now.
No,
But you know,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that you know, there's a lot of discussion around digital work and working as a using digital technology. And what I've realized, you know, like you can see in my studio, I have my monitor and my laptop, you know, right beside my bench,
Exactly.
and everything is the computer's kind of become just it's kind of like become like anything else, and it really takes so much planning and prototyping, and it really has got nothing, as far as I can tell after really diving into it for the last year or two. It's really not a time saver. It's
Yeah.
not it's just another way of making stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm still not sure about if something is completely printed, completely made by machine. For me in my own work, it doesn't have the soul, right? Like I was saying
Yeah.
before, like
Yeah.
I need to work it. It's part of it's just part of who I am and what I do to make. But I think having components components that are digitized or that are digitally made is working. Is working for me.
I think that's a struggle a lot of people go through, because when I was a student at George Brown, I didn't want to do any computer work. I only wanted to focus on, which for the right reasons, I wanted to focus on the technical abilities. But once I came out and I was trying to have a business, and there's this wonderful equipment and tool that you can use to help you, and it's the same for me. Not all components are done with 3D and 3D printing and molds, but there's elements that I add, and it gives me the satisfaction of the handmade item in it.
Yeah.
But it's such a great tool to use. And
Yeah, and I think it's really, really great for like custom work, for doing rings with
yeah,
gemstones in it. You know, more traditional jewelry, ironically,
yeah,
the digital is excellent for it.
yeah,
You know, rendering and all of that. But I guess when you're trying to work like a craftsperson or an artist who is got kind of into process and building things by process, that's where the digital sort of has its struggles, because you always want whatever you're doing, you want your technique to be to emote
yes,
what it naturally emotes, right? Like, and so what does 3D printing want to do best, you know? And so for me, it's about just
No, it's great. I'm actually very
slicing shit
much
up.
enjoying this what you're saying, because it's, I think a lot of us struggle with that, and it's very good to hear it from an expert that like in so many ways it could help us, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good or bad, or like you're not doing any work. So I'm very grateful that you showed us that and brought it up. And also, I'm gonna read Noel's comment for you. He says he's very impatient now to host your solo exhibition next spring. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Actually, I was gonna bring it up with the show with Noel and what's happening.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
Because this is a different one, because you're doing a group show that was supposed to be on right now, am I right?
no,
No.
so I'm doing a big solo show at Noel's
Okay.
Gallery in Montreal
Okay.
in April
Okay.
of 2021. I mean, I'm assuming, Noel.
Yeah.
You never know how things have maybe shifted around in the last
Yeah.
3 months, but that's what we were planning on. That's my deadline, and but I'm also going to have a show, show some of this work, some of the new nylon work at Craft Ontario in September.
Oh,
But I also don't know.
brilliant.
I don't know. I need to be in touch with them because of so many things have changed, right?
Yes, yes. So many things have changed, got shifted, postponed.
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll see, but definitely, like, there's a lot of new work on its way, and
Good.
it's funny now that I'll be going back to George Brown at the beginning of September, the end of August. So it's really starting. Suddenly, that seems really close, right?
Yes, I know.
12
Well,
weeks.
it's June now. I honestly don't know what happened to May. I think I was really not here, but yeah, it was June 1st yesterday, and now we're June 2nd.
Well, time has been like a really weird, warped, wobbly,
Oh, okay. So it's not just me.
twisted thing. No, it's the whole planet, Pasha.
Like yeah, I know. But I think the whole planet revolves around me. No, I'm kidding. But some days are super long and some days are really short. And then the in-between days
Yeah,
that
when you can't do anything.
and you
Yeah,
can't do anything.
it's been, it's weird, right? It's super, super fucking weird.
It is very weird, yeah.
And like I was saying before, sometimes, at the beginning, it was really reminding me of the last pandemic, of the HIV/AIDS pandemic, which, I was a teenager and in my early 20s, and but this one's so different because the whole world is affected, and like, you don't. I don't know. It's not specific to one type, although a person, like it was with the queer community, with gay men, but it is in some ways because it's all seniors, it's all old people.
It's very, yeah.
And sometimes, you really, especially in America, there's this whole feeling like that old people are dispensable.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Unfortunately.
And a lot of people, don't have the experience of anyone dying, which was the same with the last pandemic. Like, it was only sort of very few people knew people who died. So, yeah. Anyway,
It's because I'm just gonna second that, because I was talking to my mom and she said that I was born in '83, and then it was during the Iran-Iraq war. So she actually took me to San Francisco to stay with my aunt. And that's when it was like at the peak of the AIDS pandemic. Right. And she said it was exactly the same. She was like, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know how it's spreading. She told me this, and then she was like, I'm very embarrassed by it now. But she was like, we didn't know what it was. She said that she wouldn't take me to the swimming pool because she thought that I could contract HIV from the swimming pool. And she was like, now it feels so weird. But back then, we really didn't know anything about this. Now we all know that it's controllable. There's pills. There's how does it, transfer and whatnot. But back then, she was like, there was just this very big sort of scare around the whole world that we just had no idea what this is. We didn't know how to deal with it. We didn't know how long it's going to stay. So she was comparing it to what's happening right now. And she said it was different groups of people, but it's still the same sort of idea. So
yeah, there's loads of similarities. It's great. It's really brings back a lot of memories. Masks are the new condom.
Yes. I also was gonna say this, and then I'll let you have the rest of your day because we've been talking for what 45 minutes. But I
Have I?
always say this about no, me and you both. Whenever I talk about you, I always tell people that I have a great appreciation for you. You know that, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting here with me, but one of the probably the best professional advices that anybody has given me in life was you. And I see it in your work. Now I get it. I completely get it. Why? Because I was doing my thesis when you and Winky were teaching us. And my thesis was on Metropolis and I had a design background. I'm telling this hoping that there's some students here that this would have an effect on them too. But I was kind of driving myself crazy with just, I didn't know. And I wanted to, show my design skills with everybody. And I remember I was in your office and I don't remember your exact words, but you said something along the lines of, you're great at design, but you're driving yourself crazy and you're here to hone your technical abilities. So just take 3 elements that you really like in design and stick to those and apply those to your work, which I did, which is pretty much what you were saying. Like for you, it's the dissection and stuff. For me, it's abstraction. So I took that, I took cabochon stones and I took lines, and fast forward 5 years later, I'm still using the same elements, and that what you told me has saved me so much in my design abilities and also my professional business and technique. So
Right.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I'm telling you now. So, and I was
Thank
making
you.
this actually. That's why I wore this. Remember the earrings, the Brooklyn Bridge
Oh
earring
yes,
or
yes, yes, yes,
whatnot.
yes.
And that's when you looked at me. You gave me an A for this, and you were like, "You're good now. You're okay now. You're kind of where you want to be right now." So,
I still think, yeah, I think that's good advice.
it's
Like
very good
you,
advice.
you, even after 30 years, sometimes I still catch myself, wanting to put too much into a piece. Ultimately, I'm kind of a modernist or postmodernist
Yes.
boy in the way I was trained, and I think, simplicity, keep things simple and do them really, really well. If you have too much shit going on, it's
Exactly.
hard
Then
to
it's
do it
not.
well.
No, it was honestly, I'm saying this with a very honest heart. It was probably one of the best advices anybody has given me in life. So thank you. And I'm sure everybody loves you at school. You're a great teacher. So we all thank you for that. We thank you for being here today amongst these crazy times. It was a very, very good show of everything. I'm
Oh,
very,
good.
very
I'm
happy.
glad. It
Yeah.
went so fast. I was like,
I know.
I
I
could
thought it was
probably
like
talk forever.
maybe like 15 minutes, but it's been 45 minutes.
Really? Yeah.
And I'm not bored at all. I could carry this on for another hour or so, but I think everybody and you probably have a life to get back to.
I got to get back to spike ball in the
Oh,
backyard.
spike ball. Yeah. And I hope it saves because last time with
Oh, I know.
Chantel, unfortunately, the video was eaten up by Instagram and we never got it. So I'm really hoping that it would save it this time so I can put it up. And we're also trying to put all these videos up on our YouTube channel. MetalAid has a YouTube channel so everybody can have access to it, obviously with the artist's permission. But I think it would be great sort of library of people in Canada. That's what
Cool.
we're trying to do.
So I really was going to show one last thing, and
Yeah, no, please do. I'm not trying to rush
so
you.
no. I just forgot. So, just outside of my studio door.
Yes.
This door actually is amazing. It was part of the house.
Yes.
So just outside the studio.
I hope you're gonna show us what I think you're gonna show us.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
yes.
show you my jewelry collection.
People, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, so please take advantage of it.
I'm gonna go through it really quickly. So because I've been collecting pieces since I was about 17 or 8. I was 17 or 18. I was 18 when I went to Barcelona.
Okay.
Anyway, so Mecky Vandenbrink. This is a General Idea AIDS ring I did for General Idea. This is a fabulous Nell Linson paper bangle.
Yes.
Otto Kunzli's Manhattan piece. Felika Vanderleest. What do we got here? Martha Glenny. Oh my God, I can't name all the people, otherwise I will be
No, but
making
I'm
roast.
loving this. Maybe we could do another live Instagram of you and just going through all your beautiful collection one by one, showing it all to us. This is magnificent, honestly. Oh, Micah Adams.
Micah Adams,
I forgot.
Marie-Ève
Yes, Marie-Ève.
Castonguay,
Yes.
Pengley.
Hangley, yes. Love his
And
work.
then we come to this one, has some George Brown stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Grego and Lily. This is an amazing piece that I had somebody, his name's Timon Tio. This is 3D printed. This is like,
Oh.
I love this piece.
Oh, wait, what happened there? Oh, wow.
And
Did I
he
see a
also
different
did-
color underneath?
He also did this piece,
Oh, wow.
which is all 3D printed, and then it's cool.
Very cool.
Anyway,
I like that.
so yeah, more pieces. Ted Norton.
Oh, yeah, Karina.
So I've been saying I'm going to do this, and I'm finally starting, and now I'm going to say it out to everybody so that I really force myself to have a deadline. Which is, oh, there's Pasha's.
Oh, yeah, that's my cup. Bye.
And yeah, anyway, so, and then I have another case, which is,
Wait,
well,
you
these
didn't
are
finish what you
bracelets
were
that-
saying.
These are bracelets that I did when Martha Glennie was my teacher.
Paul, you were gonna make us a promise and then you stopped in the middle. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, yeah, so I'm going to start a hashtag for my collection.
Right, yes.
Because I wear a brooch. I wear a brooch every day. And so I'm going to, when I wear the brooch, because I always come to these cases and I find a brooch in the morning and I go out, or these days I just go into the studio.
It's the studio, yes.
And yes, Hyunsuk Sim. Do you
Yeah.
see that piece? Where's that one? Yeah.
That one, yes. I love,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be my way of archiving my pieces. So I'll just take a picture every day and make a post and do like McClure collection or something like that.
You should do that.
And yeah.
You should do that. I was actually gonna ask you to show your collection, but then I was like, maybe he wouldn't be comfortable. So this was like the perfect way to
end.
The end. This was a lovely talk. Thank you. I hope everybody else also enjoyed as much as I did. And
thank you everyone for coming and being interested.
No, thank you. I really, really, really appreciate you doing this. I know it's tough times for everybody, and it takes a bit of energy to do this. So I really am grateful, and I think everybody else is also very grateful. The comments are just coming up, and you see all the hearts. That's all for you. That's coming up. Yes,
I do see the heart. I haven't been able to read the comments because
I'll try to before.
like
It's basically
rubbing my
everybody's
stomach and
saying they
chewing
love you, and they're sending you hearts, and saying that you're amazing and you're great and all these things, showering you with compliments. Oh, my pleasure, everybody. This is honestly a pleasure for me. So whoever else comes and joins me in these talks, you should really be thanking them. This is absolutely so much fun for me. You have no idea.
Pasha, thank you for organizing it. I think it's
You're
great
welcome.
what you guys in MetalAid are doing.
My
I
pleasure.
love that there's a generation behind me who's
Yes, absolutely.
promoting this work.
I'm thinking after this, I might have my own talk show. I'm going to contact CBCB like, hey,
Totally.
can you give me my talk show with artists? It would be great. I think I would love it. Thank you, Paul, again. Say hi
Okay.
to Tom and Sebastian, and it was lovely to see your great energy.
Thanks, Pasha.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.